Disrespect from a woman is one of the clearest signs that your presence no longer carries weight. Most men don't want to admit it, but the moment a woman starts disrespecting you, everything changes. And if you tolerate it, you lose everything: your value, your self-respect, and worst of all, her respect too. You don't win her over by being nice, patient, or understanding. That only makes things worse. Disrespect is a test, and if you fail it, you're done. A woman will never truly love a man she doesn't respect. And she will never respect a man who doesn't know how to respond when she crosses the line. Most guys think if they talk it out, show how they feel, or explain their side, she'll come around. That doesn't work. What she needs to see is strength, action, and the ability to walk away from anything that doesn't align with your standards. You have to know this. Disrespect is not random. It's calculated. It's a reaction to how you've shown up. Maybe you were too available. Maybe you let too much slide. Or maybe you gave her the power to treat you however she wants. Either way, the solution is not begging for better behavior. It's enforcing consequences. This video is about giving you the exact tactics to use when a woman disrespects you. Not just talk, but actions that shift the dynamic in your favor immediately. You don't need to raise your voice. You don't need revenge. You just need control. And if you do it right, not only will you stop the disrespect, you'll earn back her respect. And more importantly, you'll never lose yours again. Let's get into it. Before we start the video, I want to remind you that my exclusive online course on mastering the dating game is available now. If you've been learning from my YouTube videos, you're only scratching the surface. This course goes deeper, teaching you everything you need to know about the dating game, from approaching a woman to building real attraction. We just finished section 5 in the course, and you won't find this information on videos on my channel. It's easy to access with a secure payment option. Visit stoicapproachtolife.podia.com or click the link in the description to enroll now and improve your dating life. 1. Walk away without explaining. When a woman disrespects you, the most powerful thing you can do is walk away, immediately, confidently, and without a single explanation. Most men fail right here. They pause, they overthink, they want to talk it out, they start asking questions, begging for clarity, or trying to smooth things over. That's weakness. That's what tells her you need her more than you need your pride. It teaches her that she can cross the line and you'll stay, listen, and still want her. The moment you explain yourself to disrespect, you've already lost. Walking away without explaining anything flips the entire dynamic. It tells her, without words, that you do not negotiate with disrespect. You don't give warnings. You don't argue. You don't beg for understanding. You leave. And the silence that follows is louder than any speech you could ever give. It speaks to your self-respect. It speaks to your standards. It speaks to the fact that you're not afraid to be alone. In today's dating world, where many women are used to men chasing, apologizing, and accepting poor treatment just to keep a woman around, the man who walks away without a word stands out. It's not about being cold. It's about being clear. You don't owe anyone a breakdown of your boundaries. The moment she chooses to violate them, the conversation ends. She'll expect you to fight for the connection. When you don't, it hits her harder than anything else. And here's what really happens after you walk away. She replays everything. She questions herself. She starts wondering if she pushed too far. The disrespect that once gave her power now makes her anxious. She realizes you are not the man to play with. And whether she admits it or not, you've forced her to respect you by doing the one thing most men are too afraid to do. You left without needing her approval. 2. Never reward bad behavior. If there's one rule that every man needs to tattoo into his mindset, it's this: never reward a woman for bad behavior. Most men mess this up, and they don't even realize it. A woman disrespects them. Maybe she talks down to them, flirts with other guys in front of them, mocks them in private or public, and instead of addressing it properly, they continue to show up like everything's fine. They still call her, still compliment her, still take her out, still sleep with her. That's a reward. And once she sees that you're going to give her attention, affection, And your presence, even when she treats you poorly, she knows you have no backbone. Modern dating has become a game of psychological testing. Women will test you. They want to know if the man in front of them is solid or soft. They want to know if he's just a talker or someone who will actually walk. And nothing screams weak louder than rewarding bad behavior with more access, more validation, more energy. That tells her you're afraid of losing her. It tells her you'll tolerate disrespect as long as you get to keep her around. And the second she knows that, she loses interest, permanently. Respect is built on boundaries. You can't command respect by telling her to treat you better while you continue acting like a doormat. She'll only start respecting you when she realizes bad behavior costs her something real. That means you go silent. That means you cancel plans. That means you don't return texts. You don't get emotional. You don't argue. You disappear. That's the only language some women understand. Words don't fix disrespect. Consequences do. Here's where most men get it wrong. They think that being the bigger person means staying calm, letting it slide, or being patient. That's not strength. That's denial. There's a difference between keeping your composure and rewarding someone for stepping on your pride. A real man knows the difference, and he enforces it with action. Let her feel the change in your energy. Let her wonder why you're not chasing, why you're not responding, why the vibe shifted. Let her feel your absence. Because once she connects disrespect with losing access to you, she'll think twice before crossing that line again. That's how men train women to treat them, with action, with silence, and with standards that don't bend for beauty or desire. The man who never rewards bad behavior doesn't have to raise his voice. He doesn't have to threaten or explain. His absence is punishment enough. His consistency builds a reputation. And his discipline keeps the wrong woman from ever believing she has power over him. That's how you win in the modern dating world. You stop feeding bad behavior and you watch how quickly it disappears. 3. Mirror her energy. Once. When a woman disrespects you, one of the most powerful tactics you can use if you're going to stay in the interaction is to mirror her energy once. Just once. Not over and over. Not as a new personality. Not as a petty game. One time. Enough for her to feel the shift. Enough for her to recognize that you're not someone she can walk all over and still have your admiration. The reason you mirror her energy once is not to play games, but to deliver a clear message. You see what she's doing and you don't reward it. Most men respond to disrespect with two extremes. Either they become overly reactive, yelling, insulting, acting emotional, or they become overly submissive, ignoring the behavior, apologizing for things they didn't do, or trying harder to win her affection. Both responses fail. The smart man sits right in the middle. He doesn't ignore it. He doesn't chase. He matches energy, gives her a dose of her own attitude, and then detaches. That one-time mirror is not out of revenge, it's strategy. If she gives you sarcasm, you give her dry answers. If she ignores your message, you delay your response longer. If she flakes on plans, you become unavailable for a while. Not forever, just once. That's the key. You're not becoming toxic. You're showing her that disrespect changes how you deal with her. And after that one dose, you go back to being normal. But you've already made the impact. She will remember it. This works because it shifts the power. She realizes she's not in control of the vibe. You are. She understands that everything changes when she crosses the line. And that creates discomfort, the kind that leads to respect. You didn't get angry. You didn't beg. You just gave her what she gave you, then moved forward without explaining yourself. That silence after the mirror moment does more work than any rant or lecture ever could. But you have to be careful. Mirror her once. Do not get stuck in that mode. The goal is not to become cold or sarcastic for the rest of the relationship. The goal is to shock the system, to reset the dynamic. You're showing her the cause and effect. She disrespects, you shift, then you stop. That's what separates men with control from men who spiral. You're not reacting endlessly. You're teaching once, and you're letting the lesson sink in. She won't admit it, but this will make her rethink how she treats you. She may even test again to see if you'll fold. But because you held frame and didn't stay in mirror mode, she'll know that you're not emotionally dependent on her mood. That's what makes you stand out. Mirror once, make it sharp, then return to your standard. She'll get the message. And if she doesn't deserve a second lesson. 4. Withdraw all attention instantly. When a woman disrespects you, the most damaging thing you can do to her ego and the most healing thing you can do for your own dignity is withdraw every ounce of attention instantly. Attention is your currency. It's your leverage. It's your weapon. And too many men are handing it out for free to women who have clearly shown they don't value it. The moment she disrespects you, your attention must disappear like you were never even there. No texts, no calls, no views on her stories, no responses, no reactions. Gone. This isn't about playing hard to get. This is about showing her that your presence is earned. If she chooses to be disrespectful, you choose to vanish. Period. You don't need to say anything. You don't need to threaten her with, "I won't talk to you anymore." You just go dark, quiet, still. She'll notice. Oh, she'll notice. And that's when the real power shift happens. Because modern women are used to men who keep chasing no matter how poorly they're treated. They expect it. They count on it. But when they lose your attention without warning or explanation, it messes with their sense of control. You have to understand how powerful your attention really is. Every time you double text, every time you check in, every time you validate her after she's been rude, disrespectful, or dismissive, you're telling her that your attention has no value. You're telling her that she doesn't need to earn it. She just needs to exist. That's what puts her in the power seat. But when you pull it all away instantly, with calm and control, you flip the entire dynamic. She starts to chase the very thing she just disrespected. And here's the key. You don't just stop giving her attention, you give that energy to yourself. You hit the gym harder. You focus on your money. You elevate your life in silence. She's going to check your profile. She's going to peek to see what you're up to. And when she sees that your world didn't collapse because she disrespected you, in fact it got better, that's when the game changes. Withdrawing attention is not about teaching her a lesson. It's about enforcing your standard. You are not a source of energy for someone who doesn't appreciate you. You are not an emotional crutch for someone who talks down to you. You are not a clown performing for someone who rolls her eyes when you speak. Once she crosses the line, you stop feeding her with your time, your validation, your effort. It ends. And if she comes back, and most of them do, you don't jump back in. You make her earn it. You move slow. You watch how she speaks. You test her consistency. She needs to know that the door isn't wide open anymore. You're not the same man she disrespected. You withdrew, you grew, and now you're in full control. That's what creates lasting respect. Not words, not debates, absence, stillness, power. 5. Don't explain your standards. When a woman disrespects you and you decide to set boundaries or distance yourself, do not explain your standards. That is one of the fastest ways to lose respect. Most men mess up because they feel the need to justify why they're pulling back, why they're going cold, why they're no longer tolerating certain behaviors. So they send long texts, trying to break down every detail, hoping she'll understand. But here's the reality. Women don't respect what you explain. They respect what you enforce. The more you try to explain your standards, the more she starts to see you as weak. Why? Because real men don't explain their boundaries. They live by them. Think about it. Does a king explain to the people why he commands authority? No. He simply acts, and his actions create the rules. When you start explaining yourself, you open the door for her to debate, challenge, or manipulate your decision. She'll twist your words, test your logic, or act like you're overreacting. All of that drama can be avoided if you simply let your actions speak. Let's say she talks to you disrespectfully in front of her friends. You don't owe her a sit-down lecture. You don't need to tell her you felt disrespected. You don't even have to say a word. You remove yourself from the interaction. You don't reach out afterward, and you let the silence deliver the message. Trust me, she'll notice. And if she's emotionally mature, she'll reflect. If she's not, she'll try to bait you into explaining yourself. Don't take the bait. By refusing to explain your standards, you signal confidence. You show her you're not seeking approval. You're not asking permission to act like a man. You don't need her to agree with your boundaries. You just enforce them. That's powerful. That's rare. And it flips the script completely. Now here's the real benefit of this approach. When you don't explain yourself, she starts to question herself. She begins to wonder, did I go too far? Why did he pull back? What did I do to make him go cold? That internal confusion is far more effective than any speech you could give. Women are emotional processors. Silence makes them analyze. And in that space, they start to realize the weight of their actions. But most importantly, you maintain your masculine energy. Men who explain everything come across as insecure, like they're trying to convince the woman they still deserve love or respect. That's not attractive. A man of value doesn't need to argue for his worth. He just knows it and moves accordingly. So the next time a woman crosses the line, don't fall into the trap of over-explaining. Just enforce the boundary. Withdraw. Move with conviction. Let your energy show her you're not a man to be played with. Because here's the truth. Men who stop explaining are men who get respected. Men who try to be understood end up being misunderstood. Choose power, not permission. 6. Raise your value in her eyes. When a woman disrespects you, it's a clear signal that she either doesn't fully respect who you are, or she believes she holds more value than you in the dynamic. And that's exactly why one of the most effective ways to respond is to raise your value in her eyes. Not through words, but through undeniable action. This isn't about showing off. It's about evolving so powerfully that she can't help but see you differently. You have to understand something critical about modern dating. Women don't just lose respect because of what you say or don't say. They lose it when they feel like they've outgrown you, or when they believe they can do better than you. Disrespect is often a reflection of how she views your level in comparison to hers. So instead of getting emotional, instead of confronting her for being rude or dismissive, you make moves, strategic moves, quiet moves, moves that make her sit back and think, damn, I might have misjudged this man. Raising your value means working on every aspect of yourself, physically, financially, emotionally, socially. You level up in every direction without saying a word to her. You hit the gym harder, you start showing up differently. Your fashion improves, your presence feels stronger. You begin making smarter financial decisions. You hang around higher quality people. You upgrade your lifestyle, your mindset, and your routines. Every little thing becomes a reflection of your standard. And when she notices that glow up, the entire vibe shifts. But here's the real power. You're not doing it for her. You're not upgrading just to prove a point. You're doing it because that disrespect reminded you that you stopped holding yourself to the highest standard. You let things slide. You got too comfortable. So now, her disrespect becomes fuel, and you use it to evolve so far past where you were that she no longer knows how to handle you. That's when women start coming back around. That's when the messages hit your phone again. When they see you in a new light, when they hear people talking about your progress, when they stumble on a picture or video that shows you've elevated, they don't just feel attraction again, they feel regret. That regret is powerful. And it's not something you can beg or explain your way into. It only comes when you've done the work. What most men get wrong is trying to make her see their value by talking about it. I'm a good man. You'll never find someone like me. That doesn't work. It never has. Women respond to what they feel, not what they're told. And nothing makes them feel more drawn to a man than watching him rise up when they thought he'd fall apart. So when she disrespects you, don't argue, don't complain, don't spiral. You go silent, go grind, and go evolve. Become the man she didn't believe you could be. Not to win her back, but to win yourself back. Once your value rises, she'll see it. She might not say it, but trust me, she'll feel it. 7. Make her earn her way back. If a woman disrespects you, then suddenly realizes you've pulled away, elevated yourself and created distance, there's a high chance she'll try to come back. She might text, call, show up in your DMs, or casually like your post to get your attention. But here's where most men fail. They open the door too fast. They let her walk back in like nothing ever happened. That's a critical mistake. If you allow a woman to return to your life without requiring her to earn her place again, you teach her one thing: disrespect has no consequences. You cannot reward bad behavior with comfort. You cannot give a woman the same access to you that she had before the disrespect. If she comes back, she needs to feel that your presence isn't guaranteed. She has to experience that your life is different now. And if she wants to be part of it, she must qualify for it. Not through sex, not through apologies, but through real, consistent effort. Making her earn her way back doesn't mean you act bitter, petty, or cold. It means you stand tall and calmly allow her actions, not her words, to prove her intention. You don't rush to respond to her messages. You don't meet up just because she asks. You don't make plans immediately. You move slow. You assess. You watch how she communicates. Is she humble? Is she acknowledging the shift? Is she willing to meet your energy without you having to carry the interaction? These are the things you observe. Too many men get excited just because she came back. They think that her return means they've won. But if you take her back without her feeling the cost of her behavior, she'll repeat it again. Why wouldn't she? In her mind, she can disrespect you, ignore you, devalue you, and you'll still let her back in with no effort. That's weakness. That's what kills respect permanently. Instead, you flip the script. You make her invest. You hold your emotional space tightly and only allow access when her effort matches your standard. Maybe she needs to call more than once. Maybe she needs to plan the meetup. Maybe she needs to express accountability instead of pretending nothing happened. That's when you start to regain control. Not because you're trying to punish her, but because you now protect your peace at all costs. And let's be clear, she doesn't have to come back. You're fine either way. You're already moving forward. You've raised your value. You've found your center again. So if she wants to join you, she has to rise to your level. You're not stepping down to meet her anymore. That version of you is gone. This is how real men handle disrespect. Not with revenge, not with begging, but by knowing their worth, walking in that worth, and never lowering it just to make someone comfortable. If she wants to be part of your life again, she's got to work for it. That's the new rule. That's the new standard. And it never changes. When a woman disrespects you, how you respond defines everything. Not just to her, but to yourself. You don't argue. You don't chase. You don't beg. You elevate. You enforce your standards. You create distance. And you make her feel the shift. Most importantly, you protect your peace and raise your value. If she wants back in, she earns it, because you've outgrown the version of you that tolerated disrespect. This isn't about getting revenge. It's about reclaiming your masculine power. The moment you stop tolerating nonsense is the moment women start treating you differently. Respect isn't requested. It's required. And remember, if you're serious about mastering the dating game, don't miss out on my exclusive online course. We go beyond what's covered in these videos, giving you powerful insights from the first approach to lasting attraction. It's easy to enroll with a secure payment option. Visit stoicapproachtolife.podia.com or simply click the link in the description to secure your spot. Don't wait until it's too late. Take action now and start transforming your dating life today. I want to especially appreciate you for taking your time to watch till the end of this video. I hope the video helps you improve every aspect of your relationship with women. Until next time, this is Stoic Approach to Life.